Hey, there we go.
Guten Tag, it's Rich from Hughes Kettner, and I'm here in a tour bus with Mr. Mike Scott.
Hello.
And Mr. Elliott Ives, guitar players with Justin Timberlake's band, and we're here on the 2018 Man of the Woods tour, and we're just here to check out what the guys are doing and playing. And as you can see, sat between them here on the tour bus couch is the Era 1 Acoustic amp. So, guys, thanks for taking the time at first, and let's start with Mike, because I've got to pass this mic around.
Okay.
Tell us a little bit about the amp and how you're using it in the set on this tour.
Okay. Well, I've been playing Hughes Kettner amps for about 15, 16 years, so the quality and craftsmanship, from you guys is consistent in this amp as well. I use a hybrid Paul Reed Smith that plays electric and acoustic. It's got the two outputs on it, and I run the acoustic into the amp, and I run electric into the other amp, and the acoustic is on always, and I blend it from the guitar or I cancel it from the guitar. But the acoustic is always on every song that I'm playing this particular guitar on. It's a great sounding amp, crisp, clean, and the size, small package, big sound. It's perfect acoustic amp. If you haven't tried one, you need to try one.
No, I became familiar with the Era 1 just by standing next to Mike all this time, and I really didn't play any acoustic last tour, but I put a lot of acoustic on the new Man of the Woods album, and and wanted to to have a good sound. And I tried some other companies that had sent a couple amps, and I wasn't in love with anything. Nothing stood out. It was everything was real flat. And I wanted something that had a little character to it. And I've noticed with this, not only is it a gorgeous little packaged amp, which looks really awesome too, but it has the character I was looking for. Like it's full bodied. It's not this super high end trebly thing where you just hear like a really bad DI sound of the acoustic. It really has a nice color to it, and so I got on board. Yeah.
And the onboard, if I could add, the onboard effects of the amp are very versatile and helpful too. And you can plug in DI, or you can go direct, or you can use plug in two instruments, and the effects stuff is amazing. Great sounding amp.
Yeah. And you're using it in a pretty unique way, as you've just explained a little bit. So you're running kind of a hybrid system on the PRS there. You've got the electric side and the acoustic side, and you're running that for the vast majority of the set in tandem always.
Yes. And there's a section where we're both playing acoustic, and Elliott's got a sections where he's playing a nylon string goat in, and on the acoustic section we're both playing through these on his nylon stuff. He's playing through it, and whenever I'm playing this hybrid guitar, this is on.
And we can blend in some pictures for you guys now. So we've got under the stage, we've got a couple of the Eras kind of sat there in a beautiful cardboard box case construction conceived by the techs, I think, isn't it?
Yeah, my tech, instead of getting a proper case for it, basically just cut a rectangle out in the back of the cardboard box, because where it's situated underneath the stage, it's pointing right in the face of the percussion tech, and he just gets blasted by it every show. So we covered it up, and I really, at that point, just use it mostly for DI. And so it's boxed up, and it's very unique. But, we can unleash it. We can unleash it if we could put it somewhere else. So that's basically the box story, yeah.
Yeah, and are there any kind of challenges that you've had in terms of adapting this to a live setup, or has it all been very simple and easy?
It was plug and play from the first time. Like you said, the amp came, Michael Berger sent it, we got it by mistake. I plugged it in, front house guy, everybody, in-ears, everybody loved it. We all were like, wow, that amp sounds amazing. And Elliott had to have one.
And you said you using it live, but you also used it on a lot of the recorded album parts too, so people can hear it on the record.
I did not use it on the album. We just basically mic'd up acoustic. But on the mixes, the acoustic is so prominent, and I did a lot of layering and doubling to make it sound super fat and super stereo. So instead of just going normal DI here, I wanted some more character or something, because it's just one guitar having to stand up in a PA, you know, and I wanted something that gave it the color that it needed, and this thing's doing it perfectly.
Yeah.
So. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Are you guys familiar with the Era 2, which is kind of the bigger version of this amplifier?
Not at all.
No? Well, this one, the Era 1 is 250 watts, and it's got a 1 8-inch speaker in it. The Era 2 is 400 watts, so it's a lot bigger, a lot louder, and it's got 2-inch speakers in it. 250.
More than enough. We're playing arenas, and this thing is loud. When we were rehearsing, it was just in the room on the floor, and it was really, really loud.
Yeah. And how many guys are in the band then for the rehearsals?
14 band members, right?
15. Well, including backgrounds,
yeah, including Justin.
16 including Justin.
Yeah. And it is a loud band. I mean, we've just been on stage for the sound check. There'll be some footage of that, and it is quite loud on there,
Yeah. Yes, it's quite loud. It's a loud environment. It's a great show with some really great lighting, and Justin is on fire every night. And so the band has to be on point as well, and it's a visual and audible feast.
Yeah, and we've seen the stage is kind of, it takes in the whole of the venue sort of thing. So you guys are moving around between different parts of the stages, running around, and you're both using numerous different guitars during the set, aren't you? So tell us about that aspect of it and how that is for you guys. Go.
One of the greatest parts of the show is how Justin incorporates everybody in the group. There's 6 dancers, 15 band members, but everyone gets a chance to shine. Everybody, you know, are able to show their character, you know, in a way, which is really cool. And by the stage interweaving and having 5 different mini stages, if you will, and being like a serpentine type thing, you can spread the whole show out, you know, immensely, and it gives everyone something to look at anywhere. There's not a bad seat in the house.
That's something. There's not a bad seat there. The scope of the concert takes up the entire room, as Elliott said, and it's just whichever direction you look, there's something going on. There's some dancing, singing, band playing, Justin flipping around. There's a fire. And lots of lights, amazing lights. So he played a lot of great guitar on the album, a lot of acoustic. You did some mandolin or something. You did a dobro,
banjo, yeah.
So the era came at just the right time, because we're doing a lot of acoustic on this tour, more than we did last tour. So we're stuck with these. Y'all are stuck with us.
We're all right with that. And
We're all right with
have you ever done kind of acoustic only sets or whatever, sort of unplugged sets where you've had to use it?
We talked about it a couple times. I think Justin should do an unplugged with just you, me, and him, and just he play acoustic and sing, and we just color.
Yeah,
you know.
I've done some of them with him, some private functions and some birthday parties. And actually, he hosted at Wembley Stadium. He hosted a summertime ball, and then no one knew we were going to play. About 3/4 into the set, we were underneath the middle and just came up and did 20 minutes, just me and him, acoustic. And it was, people didn't know he was going to play, so it was really, really cool. But I'm with him, like if we could just, me and him and maybe an upright or something, and just did that, we could go anywhere, anytime, and do anything would be really, really, really cool, yeah. Because Justin's really, you know, he finger picks a lot and plays a lot of acoustic as well, so.
I think an unplugged tour would be a great idea. Yeah. Just doing all of his hits just with acoustic guitars or acoustic instruments, you know. I think that would be a great idea.
Yeah.
Be a different color of him, you know, a different perspective for the audience. Yeah.
Well, maybe for next year. Yeah. Why not? Yeah. And just to ask you guys a little bit about what you do when you're not on stage on kind of one of the biggest tours in the world. What are your musical tastes when you're not playing Justin Timberlake tunes?
I'm glad you said musical taste, because I was going to say we drink when we're not. But since you directed it. Elliott?
I really try to take every chance to wipe the pop off me when I can. So if it's going out to see a show, I like heavier stuff. Big fan of Mastodon, metal, hard rock, anything that's just it's not gonna be too poppy, grungy. Yeah, so that's for me though.
Yeah.
But how many months a year are you on the road with the Timberlake show?
This tour will end up being from March 2018 to the end of January 2019.
Yeah.
So as far as time off, there's not much. There might be a couple weeks in between legs, and there's 3 or 4 legs. So there's not much. And literally since December 4th, we've been at it because we had to learn all the new tunes on the album, and then we did the Super Bowl. We had a couple other promo events, and then we started immediately. So we were kind of getting ready for a bunch of stuff at once. So it's going to end up being a real good solid year plus, without a lot of downtime. So.
What about you, Mike?
Well, yeah, I agree with Elliott. We started December preparing. We were preparing to do the concert, and we were learning the Super Bowl arrangements. And then when we got done with the Super Bowl, we had to dive back into the live show, and we just been nonstop since then. His previous 2 tours were, I think the last one was 2020 was like 2 years, wasn't it? Almost 2 years. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we out for 2 years, and Future Sex was 2 years. So they're saying we're going to be done in January. I don't believe it. I think we're going to still be out for the rest of 2019. I hope. We'll see. We'll see.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah, and just while we're here, I don't think we've ever interviewed you for the Hughes and Kettner channel before, have we? No, we've never met and we've never done anything like that before. So let's just take a little bit of time, if you would, just to tell us about your history with the Blue Lit amps, because you've been with us for a long time, but we've never got to tell your story for the camera. So just tell us a little bit how you came across us and how you stuck with us and why you're still playing us to this day.
Well, that's a long, interesting story. I'll try and make it short as possible. I think it was 2000. It was during the Future Sex Love tour. We were playing some other amps. Skip Dorsey was the other guitarist then. And we were playing another amp I'm not going to mention. We had some trouble out of that amp, and they were breaking down on the road. And we got to Germany, and Hughes and Kettner was there. And I'd always wanted to try Hughes and Kettner, so I reached out to the artist relation, Paul Airy. And Paul sent us a couple of the Switchblade amps, and that was 2002, I believe. And I've been playing Hughes and Kettner ever since then. I went from Switchblades to the Triumphs, the Mark I, right? Great amp. A very versatile amp. I love the tones that I was getting out of that. I played that amp for quite a few years. And then you guys came out with the Statesman. I think it was 2006 or something like that. And that amp, it was just a simpler amp. The Triumph is a great amp. It's very versatile with the 4-channel. I love the 4 channels. But the Statesman was just plug, dialed it in and play. You can't go wrong. So I switched to Statesman's, and Paul supplied me with the EL34 version or 6L6. I had all of them, and they all sounded amazing. So I got back with Prince. I was back and forth with Prince in between Justin too, and as I mentioned to you, I would leave the room and I come back, my settings on my amp would be different because he had been playing through the Hughes and Kettner. And he would make me leave the room when the other band was rehearsing so he could play through my amp. That mug. So I still play Hughes and Kettner to this day. The electric guitar amps, and I'm not using one on this tour, but the last tour we did use the Statesman's, and I'll always play Hughes and Kettner. Love the amps, love them. Good work there, sir. So yeah, it's been I guess 15, 16 years of playing Hughes and Kettner. I used to play with this really famous Italian artist named Georgia, and I was using 2 Triumphs in stereo. And man, just a wall of sound. A wall of sound.
Yeah.
And I think Sonny Thompson turned me on to Hughes and Kettner. He used to tell me about it because he was playing them before I was. And he was always saying they're great amps. And I couldn't afford one. They're a little Maserati priced a little bit, you know. But you guys have been gracious enough to support me through all the years, and I really appreciate it. And that's why we're here now, because we appreciate you guys giving us all the support.
Yeah. Well, thank you very much for all the support. And to you for joining up as well. And thank you so much for taking the time out of the busy day, the busy tour schedule, just to spend a bit of time with us. And sitting in these cramped conditions on the tour bus, playing a little bit for us. We had a great time. Yeah.
I'd like to say one more thing to all the listeners and Hughes and Kettner. Go back to making the Rhodosphere.
Not the first person to ask it, won't be the last, but we shall see. Message to those at H&KHQ. So thank you very much for watching this. Check us out on hughesandkettner.com.
Can we play you out on something real quick?
You absolutely can.
How about a little... Go, you go.
Oh,
You,
the
go
intro.
there, go there, go. Hey, there we go. Era One.
Era
If you haven't tried it, try one. Great amp.
Mike Scott, Elliott Ives, Justin Timberlake, Hughes and Kettner. See you next time. Cheers.
Shake and bake.
Take a bait.
All right.
Thank you very much.
Thank you guys.
Thank you.
Great. Okay for you.
Shake and bake.
Take a bait.
I have to say, it looks very nice inside the bus, and